Okay, I believe we are live. This is a little bit different way of doing it, but I think we are live. So, good morning, LinkedIn. Welcome to Talk About TV, where we talk about all things experiential outdoor hospitality. I am your host, Michelle Oliver, and every Monday morning, I come to you with special guest, Randy Hendrickson, and we talk about one thing that will make a tremendous difference to you with your experiential outdoor hospitality property. So, welcome, Randy.
Good morning, Michelle, and happy Monday, LinkedIn world.
Yeah, happy Monday, everybody. This is a holiday week, so we expect you all to be working diligently, right? It's also kind of the height of summer for outdoor hospitality. This is like right in the middle of everything, so everybody's pretty busy. But today's topic is one of my very favorite things to talk about, and probably everyone who's in outdoor hospitality. And it's about outside investment. And the title of today's presentation is Outside Investment of a Different Kind. And I'm going to just let you have it because I already talked a little bit too much, but this is where everything comes together for your property. And anybody who's in this space knows it's not about just being inside, sitting inside some trailer or a beautiful cottage or wherever you are, a boutique hotel. You want the outdoor experience. So, Randy, tell us why that is important from an investment perspective. How does that help me if I'm a business owner?
Well, it helps you a lot. That's the short answer. The longer answer is, you and I have talked so much about why it's so important that for our clients that are buying accommodations or contemplating accommodations, there's a tendency to kind of stop when you get to I've placed the units and I've put in my FF&E and let's welcome the guests. The question becomes, is there more there by adding a deck? Well, of course there is aesthetically. Of course there is for living perspective. Of course there is because there's more room to spread out and enjoy yourself and entertain guests. So I think we could all probably agree that having an outdoor deck is a wonderful thing. You want
Yeah.
to be able to live outside and not just inside. You want to have a great place to stretch out with friends. And so the question becomes this: if I spend that money on the deck, do I really get that money back? I mean, that's a legitimate question. Am I just spending too much and not getting enough out of it? That also involves a premise. So over this weekend, and actually for I guess for a lot of years, I've been
Yeah. Over the course of 32 years,
over the course
you
of
have
time,
observed.
over the course of time, it's a frequent topic, right? So if I go buy this unit and do all this furniture and I do this deck, what how much more is that worth? And
Right.
so from some internal polling, I came up with a really low number, I think. So I'm gonna share my screen in just a moment here, but the
Right.
basic thesis being a great park model that's done very well. Let's call it 150 bucks a night. If you have an outside deck that's like 8 feet by 34 feet, that's a pretty big deck. And you've got outdoor furniture on there, maybe an outdoor kitchen. It's probably worth another 30 bucks a night, I would think. And I think that's kind of what the industry says, and
Yeah.
probably significantly more.
Yeah.
With that having been said, I'm going to share my screen and let's
Right.
do a little bit of math.
Let's do some math.
Yeah, a little Monday morning math, just what everybody wants, right?
Everybody does want this, actually. It's the best time.
Well, am I sharing here, Michelle?
Yes, sir. I can see it beautifully. Yep.
Okay, a little bit of context for letting folks know how we do things at Evolve. And Michelle, once again, we talk about this quite a bit. We want to be consultative in the acquisition of your outdoor hospitality accommodations. So what I've done is create an accommodation investment calculator. So I'm going to keep it very brief and not go through all these calcs because that'll make people crazy. I've checked some of the big things here. So let's start with some basic assumptions. The units we're going to say is the same with or without the outside deck. FF&E the same with or without the outside deck. The check mark here is in this example, let's say we're going to spend $10,000 on a deck. It's probably 4,000, 5,000 for the deck. Let's put some furniture on it, outside kitchen. What happens when you do that? Here again, the assumption is going from 150 a night to 180 a night in year one, $30 increase. So once again, I'm not going to walk you through all these permutations and what have you, just to the check box things here. On a single unit, you're going to spend $10,000 more for the unit, about 6%. But your year one NOI forecast at 55% annualized for year one, just sticking with year one here, you're going to make $5,700 more dollars if you have the deck by getting $30 more a night. That's a 20% increase in NOI for your 6% incremental investment. That's pretty good math. Added value. This is something I want to spend just a second on because I think it's something a lot of people kind of don't take into account.
Mhm.
When you've added that extra net operating income, the value of your property, if you put a 10% cap rate on it, basically, and again, I'm just skipping to the bottom line here, you've added $57,000 more value to your property if you put a deck on your unit versus not a deck. By adding the unit, you've added $343,000 in incremental value to the property, but $57,000 more than without a deck. So that's pretty significant. You can see what happens here. So if I spend $10,000 more, 6%, 20% increase in NOI, 16% added value to your property. You've added that much value to your property. So it's a way of kind of quantifying, does it make sense to add a deck? Of course, for outdoor living, of course, for the aesthetic appeal, of course, for all of that. It actually produces a return on investment. The future enhancement is going to have a full breakout of return on investment, ROI. But I bring this up for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it is possible to quantify the difference in increase of your property value and the value to you with your consumer of doing this, of adding a deck versus not adding a deck. Secondarily, this is also illustrative of a bigger, broader thing about what Evolve does. So going through this calculator just a teeny bit more, if you're a client who says, okay, and a lot of us ask this question, if I spend X dollars on this park model, X dollars on FF&E, and this is my rate, what do I get out of it? And the next thing is, what if I spend more on a unit, put in more on FF&E, didn't do a deck? What if I spent more on a unit, did really upscale FF&E, and put a much larger deck? We all ask these questions. What we do, again, returning to this calculator, is we will visit with the client and say, let's give you an A and a B scenario. Here we can say whatever the value of that base unit is, whatever we put in for FF&E, whatever we put in for outside living, and contrast it to variable number two. When we get down to these incrementals, you're able to see from an investment perspective the conclusions that you will draw. Mathematically, does it make sense to do my first scenario or my second scenario? Based on that, when we have your criteria, your investment criteria, we can say, all right, so what you're looking for now, let's go through the accommodations we have, the deck solutions we have, the FF&E we have, and let's build you that return. That's the key differentiator. I don't know anybody else who's geeking out as much as we do, quite frankly, about going to the client and saying, let's engineer the solution. It's not enough to just say, let's get a park model, let's do a deck. Let's see what the money is. Let's see what you make out of those different scenarios, and let's help you find the right solution. In sum, just wrapping up, it is possible, folks, if you're thinking about doing a deck and thinking, am I just throwing money down a black hole? No, you can increase a few more dollars. We can work with you in real time and calculate out what your returns over a long period of time, short period of time, and help you understand that a $10,000 investment could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in property value. That's why it's outside investment of a different kind. We're investing in the outside.
I
Did I?
love this, investing in the outside. Yeah, is there anything else you want to share with a calculator?
Oh my God, I could go on all day about that, but I promise I won't. No, it really just goes back to the big thesis. What's really important for us at Evolve Lodging, Michelle Oliver, myself, Charlie Boyne, the rest of our crew, all of our alliance partners, it's a very common theme that runs throughout, which is we don't just want to sell something to a client. That's not doing our job. Our job is to be of value by helping people evaluate what is the best investment for me for my particular property. One size doesn't fit all. So what is
Right.
your property? What's your demographic? What does the market say you can get? What do you think about your property, your guest profile? You know them better than we. I think I can get $50 more a night. Let's plug into the matrix here. Maybe it's $15. All right, maybe it's less of a deck. But that's again the whole thing. We want to create the story with the client mathematically and aesthetically and find the right balance because we represent multiple manufacturers and literally over 100 different floor plans that Evolve Lodging has access to, many of which are proprietary under our name. We have the ability to match the right solution to the right client. And I think that's so critical. None of us just wants to be told, here's the great unit. You really should buy it. Only three left. People don't respond to that terribly well. I think what people respond to is, let's work it through together. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. If I was you, what would I do? Let's talk it through. Let's crunch the numbers. Let's find the solution. It's about
Yeah.
matching the right product.
I love it. This is an incredible tool. And I am so excited that we have this. And honestly, this is why we have built a complete outdoor team and outdoor furniture and the whole thing. Because the beauty of this, the thing that matters most to me really is that it is the best of both worlds, right? Everything you just said, and I'm just repeating it. But when you can justify creating an experience that is over the top for your guest, that's when it's the best for everybody because we're all about, like Randy said, the story, the vision, the brand, the experience for the guest is top of mind. And then you can just, take that right into the calculator and see that it actually is the truth. So
It's
wonderful,
it is
wonderful. Everybody gets what they want, right? You get more revenue, the guest gets a better experience. I'm going to say one more thing on that.
yeah.
So many of these places that I've stayed, I kind of get the feeling often that I'm being driven to the community buildings, right? And I
Mhm.
get that. So you stay in a little cabin, they have a better experience at the community building with a pool or whatever. But and I'm saying you, meaning the guest, I as a guest want both. I want to be able to have those intimate moments with the people that I came here with on my own deck, and then the option to take the kids over to the pool or whatever, or maybe a potluck or something. But we have demands now. Like, we're savvy consumers. We want what we want. And when you know as an owner you can give your guest what they want and it makes sense financially, we've nailed it, right?
Well, that's it. It's all of that. It's all of that and more, right? Because we talk about it all the time. But do you get more increased nights, more occupancy? Let's
Yeah.
let's quantify what that might look like. Let's make some different occupancy assumptions. But when you have the aesthetic, as you're talking about, the community involvement, the attention being paid to where somebody lives when they're going to be there and what they're going to be doing and being sensitive to that within that market. The great thing is when you can throw it, I'd hate to say it, but when you can put it into a calculator of sorts and say,
Yep.
let's have a strategy. Let's not do it because we know we should. Let's not do it because our competitors are doing it. Let's not doing it because I think people want to stay in a place like this. Let's arrive at a strategy together. That's what Evolve Lodging is built for, developing a strategy and a game plan mathematically quantified to predictable results.
And
There-
maybe you're going to have a few less units, but
That's
they're
right.
going to deliver more. And that's another conversation. Now we're getting into, we could talk all day on this.
We could.
We promise we do. So I'm trying to limit my enthusiasm, but this is incredible. And the thing is that Randy worked hard on building this for you, because that's what this is about. It's always about our client. I mean, we treat you the way we would want to be treated. So we invite you, we're willing to just jump on a call and walk you through this. It's a tremendous benefit, whether you say yes, it's for me, or no, or whatever. It still is a very, very powerful tool for you to make better decisions. So thank you, everyone. I think we're going to wrap it up. I'll
We're
be
going to wrap it
back
up.
on Wednesday. And I believe, what's interesting on Wednesday, our guest is John Griffiths, and he's all about cooking outside and bringing, he's calling it farm to fire to table, however you want to look at it. The fire part makes me a little nervous, but we do. And summer's all about the element of fire, right? It's hot, we have longer days. So it's going to be a really great episode. And I welcome you to join us on Wednesday. Until then, have a great day. Do you have a final parting word?
Be sure to tune in for John Griffiths. He's the outdoor guru on all things outdoor cooking. Great guy, great products, and part and parcel what we're talking about here, the outdoor life.
Absolutely.
So 100%.
Yeah,
Y'all,
it's perfect.
happy Math Monday to everybody.
Happy 4th of July week. It's going to be a
Exactly.
wonderful week. Make it a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Randy. Bye.